I'm hatching 8,000 birds. I think also I was over-ambitious. I needed to change the world like immediately. I ended up being scammed. Scammers are all over the place. Okay, my name is Lenson Mumo. I am the CEO of Newan Farms Enterprise Limited. Newan Farms Enterprise Limited is a poultry farm which specifically deals with breeding of Sasoo F1 chicks, which we hatch in this hatchery, which I'm going to show you the process, and distribute to Kenyans across the country and also other parts of East Africa. So welcome guys, as I shall show you the process which happened in this hatchery. I will also show you the breeder farm and the breeder stock on how to take care of it, on how to ensure that all biosecurity measures are taken care of so that disease cannot go to them, then it comes back to the hatchery, then transferred now to the farmer.
I've heard you mention that you hatch kenya.He chicks, right?
Yes.
Kenya.He Sasoo chicks.
Sasoo F1.
Sasoo F1 chick.
Yes.
Why Sasoo?
Sasoo is the best breed. Number one, is a fast growing bird. Number two, it has two characteristics. In terms of meat and eggs. It gives a farmer up to 300 eggs per year compared to other inbreed kenya.He breeds. And when you keep it for meat, it also gains the slaughter weight at early stages. At around 3 months, the farmer is able to sell the chicken for white meat and make his money very fast. So we prefer Sasoo F1 because it grows very fast and it is also resistant to diseases and it can adapt to any climate in Kenya. We have tested it in all over the country. It can adapt to all climates. So despite all the deliveries we do countrywide, there is no point that the farmer will lose the chicken because of change of climate. It adapts the best climate and it has the best characteristics and it gives a farmer a return on investment within a short period of time.
Okay. So what does the F1 stand for?
F1 means the first filial generation. Is a crossbreed of 4 pure line chicken. In this case, let's give them letter A, B, C, and D. What normally happens, A, B, C, D becomes the grandparents. So we cross A with B and we also cross again C with D. Then we take now the offsprings of AB and a cross with the offspring of CD, where we get a pure line, which now becomes the F1, which is a bird now characterized with a fast growth and a high resistance to diseases, and is a bird which can adapt to different climatic conditions. That's why our Sasoo, we call it Sasoo F1 chicks produced at Newan Farms.
Okay. So this is the hatchery. That means
yes.
You receive eggs here.
Yes.
From the breeder farm.
Yes.
And then once the eggs hit your doors, what is the normal process in the hatchery now?
From the breeder farm now to the hatchery, what normally happens is a very critical process which must be followed strictly on handling of the eggs. What normally happens after the eggs have been collected from the chicken daily, we normally store them in the plastic trays is to allow free circulation of air. Reason being, when you store them using these paper trays, what normally happens, the embryo will start developing and you realize it is developing when under abnormal, I don't know whether there is a word which calls an abnormal condition. They are the machine conditions which the embryo should develop. So what normally happens, if you store in this kind of trays, the embryo starts to develop. Then you realize when you set that egg, the chick develops, then it dies and it will not hatch. Sometimes if it hatches, you get a very low hatch rate. So the plastic trays are the best only for storing the eggs, but never use them to transport eggs. When transporting, use these paper trays because they are the best. For us to transport the eggs from the breeder farm to the hatchery, it only takes us around 30 minutes. So we normally use these trays, then we transfer them from the breeder farm now to the hatchery, then we transfer them again now to the egg, to the plastic trays for some time, then they rest for 24 hours. The reason we allow now the egg to rest for 24 hours is to ensure now the embryo settles. Because when you are moving on the transit, the eggs were shaking and the embryo was not at rest. So don't arrive at your hatchery, then directly from your vehicle or from the motorbike, you transfer the eggs to the hatchery. You get a very low hatch rate because the embryo is not already settled. After the eggs have settled for 24 hours, what follows now is a series of serious disinfection. You just need a cotton wool and a egg disinfectant, which now you mix, then you rub the eggs slowly by slowly, then you transfer the eggs now to these egg setter trays. And this is how you normally set the egg. Let me demonstrate. This is how you normally do it. You set it, the sharp pointed side should be facing down. This is how you normally set it. Don't put it on this side, it will not hatch. Make sure it is looking downwards. Then after you disinfect all the eggs, the next process now goes now to the egg setter. This is one of our egg setter. Just come and see. I show you. So this is our egg setter. These are now the setter trays. You transfer the eggs now, the disinfected eggs, to the egg setter on the setter trays. Then after you fill the machine with eggs to full capacity, the next process is fumigation. You fumigate the whole machine for 20 minutes to ensure no bacteria, maybe which exist in the machine, which can affect the eggs and make the embryo not to develop in the right manner. After we do the fumigation of the machine, we normally close the machine and wait for a period of around 20 minutes. We normally remove the fumigator from the egg setter. Then what follows is now these settings, which are very critical. From day 1 to day 18, make sure the set temperature is at 7.8, then humidity is at 55, and it normally fluctuates from +5 or -5. Then the turn time, we normally make it for 1 hour. You can see here is counting 0-50 minutes. It will turn automatically. At day 18, what normally happens now is we start the process of candling the eggs. Allow me to show you the candling machine, how it looks like. So it is here. It is made with just normal iron. Then what normally happens, it has a very bright light inside. We normally transfer now the eggs from the egg setter now to the candling machine. What normally happens, if there was an egg which was not fertilized, we normally see it, then we remove it and throw it away. Because if you transfer it now to the egg hatcher, what normally happens, it may contaminate the whole process or sometimes affect the hatching of the best eggs. So an egg which has not developed or which was not fertilized, we normally remove it. Then from this process, after we finish the candling, we normally use this candling torch to ensure that we candle each and every egg to check whether the egg has already developed to an embryo. So from that process, we normally transfer now the eggs now to these hatching baskets. You transfer this basket, carries around 60 eggs. We transfer 60, then you make sure the eggs lie on their sides. Then you transfer them now to the egg hatcher. This egg hatcher, they get to a period now we call now the hatching window, which only takes 3 days. So after you transfer them from day 19, day 20 and day 21, they reduce the temperature from that 7.8 now to that 7.2 at maximum. It normally fluctuates. Then you wait for 3 days. Don't open this egg hatcher until the 3 days are over. What will normally happen when you open it, the hatchery reduces by 1%. So this happens because the egg shell, when it gets in contact with air from outside, it hardens and the chick is not able to pop the egg and be able to push itself from the egg shell. So after the 3 days, what normally happens is when we open the egg hatcher, we remove these hatching baskets. Then you normally separate the chicks from the egg shells and the eggs which were in the process of hatching. So the chicks on the other side, the eggs which are on the process of hatching on the other side. Then these eggs, what you normally do, you normally put them back again in the egg hatcher to give them enough time to hatch. Though they are not many at this time, the chicks, majority of them have already hatched. After you do that, the next step which follows is a series of vaccination, Marex vaccination. This is now the Marex vaccinator. You normally adjust this knob to around 0.25 ml. Then the machine will measure by itself, where we do now intramuscular injection at the neck of the chick to ensure the chicks are pre-vaccinated against Marex, so that our clients and our customers get the best quality chicks from Newan farms. From that, what follows now is a series of counting and packaging them in boxes of 50. Then the next step now is dispatch of these chicks to customers who had booked in that week, and if they are not enough, the orders are pushed forward to the other week to ensure customers continue getting eggs that they have booked, and the process continues day by day.
So how many chicks are you able to hatch in a week?
Per week, we normally set 10,000 eggs.
Okay.
Then we hatch them in different days in batches of 4,000.
Yes.
When you set those eggs, you don't get 100% hatch rate. You get around 85, at most 90%. That's the highest.
That's the highest.
So we normally, our normal target for every hatch is 4,000 chicks per hatch, which gives us 4,000 times 2 per week, which gives us 8,000 chicks per week, which we pack and distribute to different customers across Kenya, and also other parts of East Africa like Tanzania and Uganda.
In Kenya, in the recent past, we've had challenges with chicks.
Yes.
So there are long queues, even with the legacy or the big hatcheries. We have had challenges where farmers are having to wait for up to 6 months to get the chicks. What are we missing?
I think number one, the process of raising a parent stock, number one is capital intensive, and also is a very technical process which must be followed very keenly. So that is number one. It's a very expensive process. Number two is the issue to do with the government regulations.
Okay.
You realize the cost of hatching one egg here in Kenya is very high, because this cost now comes from the amount of feed you are going to give the mother stock, which we buy now in Kenyan shilling. If you compare, let me take these two comparisons. A good case of Uganda and Kenya. Ugandans are producing their chicks at only 25 Kenya shillings per every chick. In Kenya, we are producing a chick at around 35 to 40 shillings. Reason being the issue of high cost of electricity, the issue of high cost of poultry feeds, which we feed the mother stock, which now makes the cost of now this process very expensive. That's why you see some of these companies selling their chicks at even exorbitant prices at 115. So this is the major challenge, which makes very long queues. Very many investors, they don't want to invest in that venture because of the risk associated with the nature of the investment. Number two, during COVID-19 period, what really happened, these big hatcheries, they downscaled their parent stock. And from that time, they have never increased their parent stock, which affected their supply even up to now. So that's the challenge number one. Number two, the cost of even opening a hatchery to give you 5,000 chicks per week is very expensive. So very many investors, very many people are not able to start and open a hatchery on their behalf and hatch. Again, number 3 is now the government regulation. You realize now in Kenya, like the cost of livestock and the poultry fees are very high, which is a major contributor of the chicken rearing in any country. So you realize, because this parent stock, they take these feeds which are sold at a high price due to high levels of taxation. You realize the same burden is now being transferred to the final consumer. So you realize very many people are not able to even keep those chicken.
Because of, I would say, the scarcity of chicks, farmers have been taken advantage of by unscrupulous dealers, whereby farmers book chicks, they pay, and then when it is time to collect, for whatever reasons, they are taken in circles.
Allow me to start answering that question in this manner. In our model, we have prepared something like a modular program,
okay,
which is very short and can be understood and be replicated by every poultry farmer. For example, under us, we have some sales agents who assist us in selling the chicks to their customers at retail price when we release the chicks from the hatchery at wholesale prices. What normally happens, we train. So hii ni challenge moja. You can see now the power, the electricity as a.
So now, what happens to the chicks when in such a time when you've lost power?
So we have a standby generator, okay, just outside here.
Okay.
So the AVS, immediately after 2 minutes, the standby generator will just light itself instantly. Okay. Then it will run the machine. Before we came with our model, very many farmers were losing their investment to people because they just buy the chicks. The chicks are dropped to them, to a person who was just willing to sell. Then it just leaves the farmer now to suffer. So we said, no, this is not good. If you finish this farmer, where will you sell next? How are we going to even to grow even in the long run? So we realized the same challenge with the brokers, which we are doing to the customers. So we came up with this modular, where first we train the farmers, number 1, on the best type of houses you should construct, poultry house you should construct, how an ideal poultry house should look like. Number 2, we train you on how to take care of day-old chicks. On the brooding process, we take you step by step. Then number 3, we normally give you a list of items which you need to buy for the brooding. We make you chicks ready, not investor ready. We make you chicks ready. We will prepare you earlier so that you are ready for the chicks. The brooder is ready. You bought the multivitamins and everything is already there. So we train the customers and we train them on the importance of these multivitamins and how they are going to impact their businesses. So they get the training prior. Number 3, we normally train them on the feeding, how they are going to feed their chicken. We normally show them how much feed they need from the time they keep the chicken up to the time they are going to sell the chicken. Then number 4, we normally train them on the vaccination program, which we normally attach with the chicks. When we are doing the delivery. Thank God now the electricity is back, and before the standby generator had already started. So this is very nice. These are some of the challenges. You realize if you have a machine and you don't have a standby generator and the electricity goes for 6 hours, you will lose all your birds. So let's go back to our on our modules. So you realize the farmer, we inform the farmer first. We make sure the farmer is informed. We go again in our social media channels like TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. They are called the Newan farms. We again do a training there. We show them on how to do everything step by step, so that even a farmer who is at farthest place like Mombasa, Kilifi, can be able to see people us doing it, then is able to copy and do the same in his or her own poultry farm, so that he may be able to do the right thing, so that he may not lose all the birds. So we incorporated all these to ensure that farmers get the best training first. Then the next thing, they get the best quality of chicks from us, which we normally distribute to them at just wholesale prices. We don't discriminate against them. We just distribute them on the basis of first come, first served, on weekly basis as they keep their orders coming. This is a tip I want to give to the farmers, because very many farmers are also not informed about how they can be scammed in this business of chicks. Number one, how you can be scammed. When you get chicks which have different colors. For example, you realize you have been distributed chicks. We have black chicks inside, brown chicks, white chicks, and they tell you maybe this is a certain breed. That is a cocktail of chicks. Now, number one, you have been scammed, and those chicks will not grow very well. Number two, when the chick starts growing, you realize there is a difference in the growth. Some are growing fast, some are growing slowly. Know that you have been scammed by that your supplier. Number three, you will see some people advertising chicken, and they have devised the method of advertising. They advertise in cars doing their deliveries all over the country. But you realize on the advert, the person is saying he's producing like 5 breeds of chicken. He's producing Croiler, he's producing Sasoo, he's producing Kenibro, he's producing everything in his hatchery. It is not possible. So know that that person who is telling you he has all the breeds, that is another scammer. He will just collect the chicks from anywhere, then he will bring to you, then you will lose your hard-hand cash. This is now the breeding farm where we normally do our breeding of our Sasoo F1 chicken, which assists us to produce quality chicks, which we distribute to you wherever you are in Kenya. Some things to note is about the poultry house first. Okay. If you want to succeed in your poultry farming, this is the ideal poultry house, and this is how it should look like. Make sure your house is well ventilated. It is open both sides. You can see from the eastern side and the western side, this house is open. So there is free movement of air from the other side to this side. Then when constructing, never go beyond 3 feet from the ground. That is to ensure that your chicken get fresh air and they don't suffer from chronic respiratory infection or other diseases which comes with cleanliness and dirtiness. So, number one, how you can prevent diseases in your breeder farm naturally is ensuring proper ventilation. Don't cover all the sides of your poultry house. Leave them open like this. We are going to get in so that we may be able to see what normally happens in this breeder farm. So you can come with me. You can see this one means it needs a cork. Okay. When it just does like this, it means now the cork it needs a cork to mount on it. And I don't know why this cork is not doing the necessary. So this is our breeder stock. This is how it looks like. We normally ensure we keep them in a safe place where we use the simple technology which every farmer can adopt. As you can see, we are using the automatic water drinkers, watering system, as you can see. So the water is just in the reservoir, so it just comes direct to the automatic drinker. Then you can see like that one, they are just taking the water from the drinker direct. So this is what normally happens with when they drink water. Again, when it comes now to feeding, ensure also the feeder is also raised up like this to ensure they don't eat from the ground, because what normally happens, the food will get contaminated when you place the feeder on the ground. Then the chicken will suffer from coccidiosis, which will make you lose all your birds. And the coccidiosis is common to every poultry farmer who uses deep litter system. And the good thing, the good news is that it can be prevented. So these are just the basic ones which every farmer can do. If you have the manual dringer, you can just tie it with a knot just like this. So basically, here we are. You can come and see what normally happens as we go. You can see this one. This one means it needs a cock. So there we are. Then you can see now the next process. What normally happens, make sure you construct laying nest like this. The dimensions should be 30 centimeters, 30 by 30 centimeters, to ensure that the chicken can fit and sleep very well, comfortable like this, and they also lay the eggs, as you can see. Also, you can see like this one, they are sleeping very well, and they are able now to lay their eggs without any disturbance. And the good thing is, some of them are enough, they can accommodate even up to 2 chicken, as you can see. So this is a simple way you can construct even your laying nest without a struggle. The other thing, you realize some chicken are not able to come to the laying nest because they are not used to. So you normally get some floor eggs. What normally happens to these floor eggs, you cannot incubate these floor eggs. You just keep them just for consumption because it is already contaminated and it can transfer some germs to other fresh eggs. The only egg which it has is the one which has been laid on this nest, like just these ones, as you can see. So this is how it goes. You can see. So you can only incubate these ones. The floor egg, we keep them separately for consumption.
When you're sourcing for this parent stock now, how do you ensure that you avoid getting, inbreeding?
Don't use the same cock in the same pure line to mate on this chicken, because you are going to produce a chicken which is slow growing. If you can see, the females are brown in color completely, but the cocks are tricolor and they have a very big body size. This means this chicken, it gives now a characteristics of a very good layer, and the cock now gives quality F1 chick because of his masculine size. So we normally ensure we select the best cocks for our female chickens to ensure we produce the best for our customers. That's why you realize the females does not look the same like the males. The female is pure brown and the males are tricolor.
How did you get into the chicken business?
My story starts from my home ground. That is I started poultry farming in 2010 in the village. I was given 2 chicken by my grandmother. She's late now. Then they were the pure kienyeji, or we call them the indigenous kienyeji ones. So what happened to this chicken? Within a period of 1 year, they had given me eggs, and the eggs had hatched to chicks, and I had gotten up to 100 other chicken from the 2 chicken. So I think passion of keeping poultry came from there. Then my mother and my father were also supportive to me, so they continued supporting me in terms of feeding the chicken, and I grew with the pure kienyeji to a level I reached to 300 chicken. Then around 2016 is when I joined university. So I get to realize people in Western Kenya keep improved kienyeji breed, which now grows faster and it replicates faster than the pure kienyeji. So I attended different seminars from people who were heading poultry seminars. I learned from them. Then there was one mother who played a very crucial role in my mentorship. She's called Tabitha Makoha from a place called Dengelwa. Tabitha took me, She educated me on how to take care of the chickens. She educated me on the brooding. And a good enough emergency allowed me to go out to the farm and learn from her farm, just for free, at 0 shillings. Then she also showed me on how to market my chicken and everything. So from that, I started again in Western Kenya to keep this improved Kenyaji breed. What I was doing previously, long time ago, I was just buying day-old chicks and now brooding. Then I sell them as brooded birds to other customers. With the time, I get to learn a lot in poultry farming. So I expanded my operations to a place where I reached 5,000 brooded chicken. At that point, I realized there was this issue: if you put an order for day-old chicks, they will keep you waiting for a very long period of time. Then after they give you all for all that time, you place an order, it takes 1 month, 2 months, and you realize that time is a period which I was able to keep that chicken and sell and make more money. I said, why can't I start this thing? Why can't I do the same like them? So I did a lot of research on YouTube about hatching process, about genetics, about how to get the best chicken. Then I started with around 500 birds. That was my first trial of our parent stock. I was hatching by then 1,000 chicks per week with an egg setter of 3,500 chicks. So from that I learned very many things about hatching with these 1,000 chicks per week. So through experience, I learned very many things, and also through other hatcheries, I learned very many processes about hatching process. So we grew to where we are now, producing 8,000 chicks a week, which we supply countrywide. So I think it's something I'm very passionate about when I'm doing it. It's not something I'm doing it just for the money, but my heart, my mind, my strength is into poultry farming to see it succeed. And my joy comes when I see myself supplying that 1 chicken, 50 chicken to a family. They make a living from that. That's where my joy comes from. I'm so passionate about it, and it's something I've just grown with it. So I think it made me do it with more passion, and I feel good doing it.
What is your current capacity in terms of eggs production here?
It's 4,000. 4,000. 4,000 means we have 3,300 females and 700 males. Yes.
And what is the recommended ratio of
it should be
males?
1 cock, 7 females.
Okay.
But it can go from 1 cock to 10 females.
Okay.
But it should not go beyond 10. It will exhaust the cock and it will not be able to fertilize and do its work well.
Okay.
Yes.
And currently, at the capacity you're operating at,
Yes.
what is your laying percentage?
Currently we are at 70%.
70%.
Yes.
What are you doing to try and push your costs of production lower?
So poultry farming is just an economy of numbers. The reason why you get very many farmers say, I'm not getting money from this poultry farming. You realize the margins, yes, are very minimal, but if you keep like 200 chicks, you realize even if you're getting 50 shillings per every chick, you get at least some good amount of money. So it's a game of numbers. The higher you go, the more the profit. The lesser you keep, the lesser the profit. So in terms of feeding, what we normally ensure, we have a feeding schedule, the recommended feeding schedule. Many farmers are not aware about how much they should give their chicken and when should they feed them, at what grammage or how many kilograms are these birds. So what we normally have, we have a feeding schedule where we feed our chicken using it. In this case, if we supply you with day-old chicks, it comes with this feeding chart, and I can give a brief on what it entails. So a chick at day-old consumes 30 grams. And that is, we normally count that from day 1 to day 7. In week 1, they will consume every chick 30 grams. In this case, let's take a good case study of 1,000 birds. In this case, you realize 1,000 day-old chicks from day 1 to day 7, they will consume his chick 30 grams times 7 days because they have eaten 30 grams per day for 7 days. Then what normally happens as the chicken grows, you realize also the food intake increases. As the food intake increases, every week every chick intake in feeding increases by 5 grams. So you realize by week 2 is that 5 grams, week 3 40 grams, week 4 45, then it grows up to week 24, which is now the week we call the point of lay. Sometimes the laying comes earlier at week 19, but you realize feeding now goes up to week 24, which is now the maturity where you reach at 140 grams, which is now the maximum. So it starts at 30 grams, then every week 5 grams increases in the feeding of the chicken. What normally happens again, very many farmers buy chicks, then what they normally do, they go and you realize like this improved kenya breed, this Sasoo F1 from Newan, they know and they go and give them like the broiler starter crumbs, which is very much expensive because they want them to grow very fast and sell in the market. Not knowing, if they go for a cheaper food like the chick mash, it will be cheaper for them and the bird will also grow even at the same rate like giving the other expensive food. So very many farmers are not informed about what food should they use and how much should they give every chick per day. So you realize they are not aware about that. Currently we are using commercial feeds, but we are on the process to start producing quality feeds for our birds and also start distributing to our outlets and to our farmers. So that's what basically happens.
So you've been now at this for some time. You've been in this poultry business for some time. Now looking back in retrospect, if you were to begin today, what would you do differently?
I think I would learn first, because I think I've gotten very many lessons learning through experience. Because if you don't have poultry knowledge and you just decide to invest your money, you can lose everything because scammers are all over the place. They will tell you they are selling you every type of chicken. Then you are specific, maybe you need a certain good breed. Then they will tell you, we also have that one. Then they give you that one. So that's the experience I was going through. For example, I was telling the people who were supplying me at first, long time ago when I was starting, supply me with Sasoo F1. Then they would supply me with birds which are mixed up, black, brown, white, all colors. Then they would tell me this is now the Sasoo F1. And you see now I didn't have knowledge about Sasoo, I didn't have knowledge about breeding. So I ended up being scammed. The birds could die to a very big number, up to 50%, 30%, which was, I think it was, all those problems were just because of lack of poultry knowledge. So I think it's important to get the knowledge first. I would get the knowledge first. Number 2, I think also I was over-ambitious. I needed to change the world like immediately. So I was now stocking large number of chicken and I'm not able to feed it. What could happen? The chicken could eat that, could die up to the level which I can keep comfortably. So you see, here that being ambitious made me to lose a lot of birds in the process. So the best method to grow is step by step. Like now, I'm hatching 8,000 birds. I cannot go to 100,000 birds. But if I go to 20,000 birds a week, I will be able to manage. So don't move one step to the other. I have seen farmers telling me, I want to start with 20,000 chicken. And they end up missing the mark. They lose all the birds and lose all your money. This was also my case. I was telling the people who were teaching me on how to start a poultry farm, I want to start a farm of 100,000 chicken. Then when I start a farm of 100,000 chicken, I could take my calculator, take 100,000, every chicken give me 1 egg times 10. Then I could see now I'm getting like 1 million just in a cell, in egg cell of 1 day. So don't be over ambitious. Just do the right thing. Go step by step, learning as you go. If you fail on those, if you fail to do that, get knowledge, grow systematically, you realize you lose your money in the process. Get the knowledge first. Know how business, poultry business operates. And the good thing, have also a basic knowledge about how business processes and the system works. Because again, you get the brokers coming to broker your chicken. They will buy you at a low price, tell you there is no market. Then you end up now selling the chicken at a loss. Then you are out of business. So that's it. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming. Farm Business East Africa. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, like, subscribe and share so that you may learn. We will bring the knowledge there. You learn every kind of livestock and crop farming without a struggle. Thank you so much.